Benson, you've done, I think, seemingly like everything in your career at this point, right? I mean, been around the game forever, but a Grand Prix like this, deep field, working the tournament, I guess, is this a unique experience? What's the feel for you?
I would say yes, definitely a unique experience. I've been waiting for Bellator to finally do a lightweight Grand Prix. They did freaking welterweight, they did heavyweight twice, they did freaking light heavyweight. They've done a lot, but they never have yet done the lightweight. Every time I see him, I talk to him. Hey guys, when you doing the Grand Prix? When you're doing the lightweights? When you guys gonna show the lightweight some love? So now it's our turn, and we get to showcase and shine for Bellator.
I love it. And obviously, you get the title fight right off the bat, right? So when the pairings were revealed, and you're there in the championship fight, were you like surprised, or you kind of like, well, yeah, man, I've been around here a while, like I deserve to be in that title fight first?
I was surprised about the title shot. Actually, how it played out was my contact with Bellator, Kogan, he texted me about, hey, do you want Nurmagomedov? I was like, yeah, of course, thanks, awesome, sign me up, done. He's like, oh, he texted me like in December or January sometime. He said March. Like, oh man, it's kind of far away, but of course, absolutely. And then I heard rumors about the Grand Prix and this and that, but I don't ever pay attention. I don't do my own social media too much. So I didn't really pay attention to it. I didn't listen to any of the rumors. I don't know how true they were, how not true they were, because you can't listen to anything you hear on the internet unless I hear it from Kogan, from Bellator, from somebody specifically. I don't really place much stock in it. But then some of my teammates and coaches kept talking about the Grand Prix and being more serious. And, okay, they're doing the Grand Prix and this and that. I was like, huh. Bellator's never hit me up about their Grand Prix. I don't know. When is the Grand Prix? Am I in it? I hope I get it. I know I get the title shot next. Kogan and I told me that. But, I like to get in the Grand Prix also. Hopefully they do the Grand Prix afterwards. And my dumb butt didn't connect the dots. I texted Kogan and like, oh, hey, so this Grand Prix, is it a real thing? Are you guys doing this? Like, yeah, you dumb butt, you're the first fight in the Grand Prix. You're getting Nurmagomedov for the first round. I was like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Sorry for being an idiot.
That's hilarious. So, obviously your ultimate goal is to win the whole Grand Prix, right? But, right away you win this title. Put that in perspective. WEC, UFC, Bellator, holding titles in these major organizations. Whether you make it all the way through the Grand Prix or not, just winning this fight would be history. Like, what would that mean to you?
I think winning this Grand Prix will be pretty amazing. I have done a lot of work. The decisions I've made in my career, going this path of least resistance, or the more comfortable path, the more steady path, the more this, which direction you go, which path you choose, all the decisions I've made, winning this Grand Prix, winning this lightweight belt, the third belt of mine, Bellator lightweight title, it means everything. It means absolutely everything to me.
That's awesome. Last thing for me, and I want to preface it by saying I turn 45 next week. But you're facing
happy early birthday, man.
Thank you. But you're facing a 24-year-old kid, right? Do you start going like, man, how long do I stick around doing this? I got these monsters coming up in their early 20s, and I've been doing this for a while. Like, do you start like putting an end date on things as you go into this Grand Prix?
Oh, yeah, for sure. For me, my end date is these last 3 fights, and I'm done. I signed the 4-fight contract with Bellator. Say, hey, after this, guys, I'm done. No more. And then, it's my wife's turn, Maria. She's her turn to shine. She put off her career like a lot of wives do. Shout out to International Women's Day today. So shout out to all the women out there internationally, everywhere. They put up a lot of stuff from us guys. My wife put off her career so that I could shine, that I could do what I do, and it's worked out pretty well for us. Now it's going to be my turn to step back and pick the kids up from school, drop them off at soccer practice, take them to chess practice, and then let her practice. When the kids are sick, one of us has to stay home. It's not going to be her staying home anymore. It'll be me staying home. So she had the 4 babies. Now it's my turn to take care of them as she's off at the gym training and getting better.
So if we stick with that 3 fights that you're talking about, that would mean your plan would be to win the title on Friday, defend it in the semifinals, defend it again to win the $1 million, and that's it. You're going to retire in the cage. That would be the plan.
It's worked out that way. So like I 4 fights left, and then the Grand Prix, and then the fight was like, oh, well, that works out pretty well, doesn't it? That would be a dream come true. But if you work your butt off, man, you can live your dreams. You can have your dreams.
Would Benson Henderson, the ultimate competitor, be okay doing that, like going out that way, or would you be like, though I haven't been beaten yet, I'm still the champ, I need to stick around?
No,
there's gonna be temptation there.
At the end of these fights, I'm done because I think for everyone retirement age and for athletes going to retire, they always have that. Oh, can you play one more? Tom Brady, can you play one more? Can you not play one more? Can you do this? I still feel good. I still feel fast. I still feel like I'm competitive. But for me, it wouldn't be just feeling competitive, like I compete and hang with the best guys in the world and this and that. But it's also mostly more about my wife getting her turn. She needs to get going. She needs to be able to concentrate on training, on fighting. The amount of work you guys have a pretty good idea the amount of work that it takes to get good at MMA. How many hours of practice you have to have, and when you're the primary, taking care of the kids, you're the primary provider for the kids. It's kind of hard to have those. You don't have the time. She's always tired. She's always has to do this with the kids, do that with the kids. They're getting old enough now that I can, do my due diligence and take over more full time and let her do full time training. Train three times a day, 4 times a day. Get after it.
Let's talk about the fight real quick. His rise to the title was pretty swift, right? And until he came upon Patricky, he hadn't fought anybody that's as accomplished as you and as accomplished as Patricky was. What have you seen from him in just a short time here in Bellator that you need to be kind of prepared for on Friday night?
Oh, I think Usman's a good champ. He did very well against Pitbull. I think he's a kickboxer at heart. He prefers to stay standing, prefers to throw a lot of kicks. Not exactly a point scorer, but more of a point scorer, more of a stand-up fighter. In his last fight, he showed that he has a skill set to wrestle. He's telling everybody, hey, man, you guys forgot where I come from. I can do this wrestling stuff. I can wrestle a little bit. So he's showcasing in his last fight that he can wrestle, that he's pretty proficient at it. I think the biggest thing I take away from that is that because he is kind of still young in the sport, he's 16-0, but still relatively young in the sport, doesn't have a ton of experience. But my takeaway from that is what other skill set does he have that he hasn't had to showcase yet? Like we figure he can wrestle. Obviously, he can wrestle where he's from. He's really comfortable stand-up kickboxing, but maybe he's a ace jiu-jitsu wizard too. He just hasn't showcased that. I take him down, I get him to the ground, then all of a sudden he's throwing up submissions like crazy from everywhere. So it's more about what else he brings to the table that he hasn't shown yet, that I'm not aware of yet. So I'm paying attention to that. Paying a lot of attention to that for sure.
And I need to ask, obviously, about the betting odds, not necessarily because of sports wagering, but the last time you were an underdog of fairly significant proportions, you went out and you won the fight. You beat Nurmagomedov, right? So he was a 6-1 favorite. I think I've seen odds that are like 20-1, which is, I think, probably more a reflection of what people think of him than what they think of you. So talk to me a little bit about that, and does that put any kind of chip on your shoulder? Because you have been through this before where people weren't necessarily expecting you to win, and you went out there and just did it anyways.
I have never once in my life looked at odds, so I don't know. I actually don't know how odds work too much. I vaguely know how odds work, but I don't pay attention to that stuff. Every once in a while I hear people talking about like big upsets. And, oh, this person was a 300-1 and blah, blah. If you would have bet like $20, you would have won $7. Or if you would have bet $20, you would have won $500, something like that. I don't know how it works out. But I understand the underdog thing. And I've been underdog for a large parts of my career. The parts that people remember the most is, when I had the belt, when I was on top and things were going well, and I was the favorite for a lot of those fights. But for a large chunk of my fight before that, I was the underdog. And after that, I've been underdog a couple times as well. So I have no problem being underdog. Underdog, favorite, this, that, it doesn't all matter. This guy's hometown, oh my God, the crowd's crazy. How are you going to deal with the crowd? It's a fight. All the other stuff, to true veterans of the sport, it doesn't matter. it's a fight, one-on-one. Just go in there to see let the best man let the best person get their hand raised. All the other incidentals, the this, the that, the home crowd, the walkout music, and the this and the that. Like, it really, really doesn't matter to true veterans who, obviously don't let it get to their heads and stuff.
Benson, since we're kind of admitting that we're towards the end at this point, I'm curious, man, do you have a specific favorite moment or win in the career?
I do get this question quite a bit. Nothing really comes to mind ever like right away. Like, oh, this is like for clear tops. This is my number one favorite. But I have to sit there and think about it. I'd probably say for sure being able to propose to my wife in here in San Jose. That was a pretty special moment for myself, for my family. I was able to. I'm not the most outgoing person, showcase the world, this and that, but I was appreciated being able to share a personal moment like that with my wife, to share it with the world.
So where do you think winning the tournament would rank then? Would that take the top spot, or that's still going to be tough to beat?
It won't be being able to propose to my wife, but it'll be up there though. It'll be up there. It might be close number 2 maybe.
When's the last fight that you fought with a toothpick in?
Man, I had to cut back the toothpick thing a couple years. My son's 7. My oldest son is 7 now. So before he was born, I had to start cutting back on the toothpick a little bit. Because my mom always told me that I got the toothpick thing from my dad. So I would be like 7, 8, 6 years old, whatever, running around with the toothpick in my mouth, and she'd go crazy. Oh, careful, don't run, don't jump, take the toothpick out, you're going to choke on it. And then my son was born, and I started thinking about it, like, this little guy's going to run around crazy as heck, like, most boys are crazy as heck with a toothpick in his mouth because he sees me with it in my mouth. I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna choke on it. So my heart started doing that, the thing my mom did. So I had to cut back on the toothpick. So they actually don't see me with the toothpick too much at all ever. I try to make sure I took that away because parents, it'd be scary. Yes, the perspective changes.
Fair enough, man. And obviously, when people think of your career, Benson, will think of all the great fights, and specifically maybe the rivalry with Anthony Pettis will stand out. So once you're done with MMA, you're not gonna follow in his footsteps and maybe go to boxing or anything crazy like this, are you? Just what do you make of him boxing Roy Jones coming up here?
Who?
Anthony Pettis.
He's boxing who?
Roy Jones Jr.
When is that?
April Fool's Day.
Oh.
But it's a real thing.
No, it's real. Yeah, it's real. Yeah. Holy. How much money is he getting paid? Hey, good for all the guys being able to, I never get upset at somebody. I never begrudge somebody making their money. So do whatever you want to do to make money. If you want to crack jokes and put on a persona and be outgoing, outrageous, say outlandish things to make more money, God bless. Go ahead. Do you. No problem. You want to win fights? Keep your head down. Stay working. Be humble. God bless. Do you. No problem. Whatever you want to do. If you want to go into boxing and box legends, how old is Roy now? Anybody know?
Yeah, he's up there.
He's not 50 yet, is he?
Probably close.
I think so. I'd guess 51, 52. 54.
Right.
How old is Pettis?
He's probably
Who sanctioned that?
It's Masvidal's promotion, Jorge Masvidal.
In Florida, maybe?
It's going to be in Milwaukee.
In Milwaukee?
Wisconsin, yeah.
Pettis is 36. I wonder what weight class are they going?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's good for him for making money.
He posted today, he's like 198. He's like, I'm bulking for this.
Wow.
Hopefully he makes a ton of money. Hopefully he's happy. He do you make a ton of money? No problem. God bless me, y'all. It's cool. I think this is good. I think a lot of the MMA guys have been a long time talk about who's better, MMA guys or boxers. MMA guys are Muay Thai guys. MMA guys are a Jiu-Jitsu guy. I think a lot of the MMA guys are not scared. A lot of the MMA guys are nervous to go with the high-level Jiu-Jitsu guys. You're not going to see any high-level MMA guy go against a high-level Jiu-Jitsu person, all rules, leg locks, heel hooks, this and that, and get their knees torn out, and put their career on hold. But a boxing fight, not as bad. You get hit, you get knocked out, a little bit of damage, but nothing. You're going to be out for 2 years or for 9 months ACL surgery. So good for Pettis. I'm happy for him. That's awesome. That's cool to be able to say you box Roy Jones Jr. even though he's 54 years old. That's pretty awesome. Right? If they gave me a chance to box Roy Jones, I'm like, yeah, sure, sign me up, no problem. That's awesome. So good for him. Is he not with PFL no more? Is he not?
I think they're allowing him to do it.
Smart.
I think, yeah.
Smart.
Best of luck, Benson.
We're gonna open up for some Zoom questions, and Marty, we'll start with you.
This thing still on? Can you see you guys?
Hey Benson, greetings from the UK. You've talked before how this is an opportunity for you to further cement your legacy, really, and coming off a 2-fight win streak. How does that give you momentum and give you that confidence ahead of this fight?
You might catch that one more time.
Your win streak, like what momentum does it give you? Like what confidence does it give you from your most recent wins?
Thank you. Momentum is always one of those weird things. It's nice to have. It's like, I don't know, criticism from fans or whatever. You can get criticism like, cool. You don't think I'm very good? You think I'm not very tough? That's awesome. God bless. Go ahead, do you. Like, you're entitled to your opinion. I don't begrudge anybody their opinions. Momentum's kind of the same way. When the crowd, fans, critics do like you, awesome, cool, thank you, I appreciate it. You know, like, you can't let it affect you. If you live for their acceptance, you'll die from their rejection, you know? So momentum's kind of the same way. If you have to have the momentum on your side and you're one of those guys who only does well when momentum's on your side, something doesn't go your way, you lose that momentum, and then you start sliding off. Next thing you know, you're out of the UFC. Next thing you know, you're out of, like, things don't go your way. You're out of the Bellator. You can't be that person, you know? So momentum's pretty similar to me in that respect. It's nice when it's on your side, but it's not. It should not be something that you have to have.